Is there something you can say about the power structure, the hierarchy of the Medellin cartel that you interacted with? Was it a dictatorship where Pablo ran everything? Was there a bunch of power centers? Was it like a company where you have CEO, CTO kind of thing, and then there's like managers and all those kinds of things? What's the like? How did it run from a leadership perspective?
I understand that about five of them got together and made this, I will call it an insurance company, and now known as the Medellin Cartel. And I didn't see any difference. Each one of them had their own business, and their people from the jungle or wherever made the cocaine, gave it to them, and they shipped it. And so it didn't seem to be any power play between them at all. But my main contact was Jorge Ochoa, and Pablo Escobar was right there, and I saw plenty of stuff for him too.
It's strange that they didn't betray each other regularly. You know, greed makes men betray each other. How do you explain that? How much betrayal did you see?
I didn't see any, absolutely none. If he shipped his 100 kilos, he got paid for it. If the other one shipped his, I'm sure they got paid for it.
How do you explain that?
Well, there was no need to. The money was just unbelievable. You think about 500 kilos in the plane at $50,000 a kilo at the time. And they paid $5,000 to ship it. And they made $5,000 without even touching it. They just had somebody to load it onto the airplane. I gave it to their man in Miami. They gave it to whoever it belonged to by the marks on the duffel bags. So they was making just untold millions. Just no reason.
But greed can blind men. It's still strange to me that there was not more betrayal. It speaks to something else, perhaps, that's bigger than money. Maybe not. But it seems like just like in the casino, like you mentioned, we get accustomed to whatever level of money we have. We get accustomed very quickly.
Yes.
And then there's a tension that's natural between human beings. And when that tension combined with money, combined with power, combined with, like you mentioned, beautiful women and a bit of violence, it seems that betrayal should be commonplace. But it's not.
It wasn't, not at all. Carlos later, I don't know if he betrayed anybody, but he started that. He was running cocaine through the Bahamas, and he had the island. I didn't go. I was offered to fly with a DC-3 with that, but I didn't like it. So I had my route through the oil wells in Louisiana. And so I wasn't going to change. But he talked a lot, and I don't know if he betrayed, but they didn't like him.
Yeah. So as you expand, there could be tensions that
yes.
That lead to conflict. Colombia was, like you said, an ultra-violent place. How did you survive? Who protected you?
I was their hero. They liked me. I mean, I was just treated royally. All I did, I would come over El Banco. There's a radio station at the forks of the Magdalena River. I believe it was 720, if I remember right, on the AM. And I'd fly in at 10,000 feet, and I'd see below me there'd be a Cessna. And I'd wiggle my wings, and he'd wiggle his, and I'd fall in behind him, and we might go 100, 200 miles. I'd land on some jungle strip or some banana plantation, and they'd fuel me up. I could eat steak, spend the night. It was just like treated royally. And I mean, take off the next morning whenever I wanted to. It was just like that was protected. And I was an honored guest. It wasn't anything like in that movie putting a gun to your head and taking your sunglasses and betting. So one time I complained to Jorge Ochoa that the runway was pretty short that they were using. And I went back down there, and it looked like Los Angeles International. They had bulldozers in there, had that thing 5,000 feet long. Yeah. And just the next week, it was all done. The jungle was gone, and clay put up there.
And all the while, you were not afraid. You were treated like royalty.
Yes, there I was. I was afraid when I landed in the United States.